already been subscribed. Right now, the queen, she on live.
Right now.
Please pull over the whip, no phoning when you drive. Dope Soul sporting with the talk. First lady from New York,
Brooklyn.
All my people, you rocking with the chat.
Hit that.
That like button would tell me where you at. You know, step from the MBK. Born and raised up MBK. Hey, real lady, where she holding it down. No matter way how you feel, she gon' greet you with a smile.
Sister, you one of a kind.
Yes.
Oh, sister, it's time you
That's her.
shine. Dope Soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Dope Soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Dope Soul.
What?
Dope Soul.
What?
Your soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Salute, Knick family. Welcome to the channel, Dope Soul Sports Talk, Dope Soul Knicks Talk, and member of the MBK fam. I'm your host, Stephanie, aka Queen. And as always, we have a lot to talk about. The Knicks are one game away from the Eastern Conference Finals. Let me say that again so it can sink in a little bit. The Knicks are one game away from the Eastern Conference Finals. I mean, look at this team. I mean, I'm not saying the team is not talented. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying with all of the injuries that we've had, we are basically one game closer than we were last year. You know, so I'm super excited about what I'm seeing. You know, we got blown out in game 4. And for me, I wasn't sure, you know, was that just the short turnaround from Friday to Sunday's game? Or was that the minutes catching up with the Knicks? And this is what we can expect, you know, in game 5. And, you know, I had to wait to game 5 to find out. And from that 30-point victory, we could see it was just legs. It was just a short turnaround. That was a really intense game in game 3. Went down to the wire. You know, Indy, young team, fresh legs, longer rotation. The Knicks, you know, wear and tear, shorter rotation, and it showed. The Knicks, you know, I don't want to go too far back, but the Knicks did have a lot of open shots in game 4 that they missed, and Indy hit everything. They were shooting from the locker room. But anyway, Friday, last game, the Knicks came out and handled their business. You know, they had a team meeting. I'm like, why you need a team meeting? You know, it was just a loss. It was a bad loss. You know, it happens. They was like, nah, not to us. Not like that. And they came out and handled their business. We'll talk more about it. Tibbs put in McBride in that starting lineup. You know, shout out to Tony Crow, who says Siakam is back there lounging, playing Precious Achua. You know, he roaming all over the place. He went and got a Frank, came back. Precious still standing right there, you know, in the same spot. You know, he put Deuce in there. That means Josh Hart is at the 4. I mean, not that, you know, Josh Hart is a great 3-point shooter, but he's been really good in the playoffs. And Siakam had to tend to him. And something that's not talked about enough, I'm not sure what's going on with my video. I'll fix it in a few. Was not talked about enough, at least, you know, on the telecast, was Deuce McBride taking Halliburton out the game, period. I don't care if he had 12 points, 14 points, whatever he had. Deuce took him out the game. He didn't want any of the smoke, you know? And when you think about how much they talked about Brunson and how Nesmith was shutting him down, a hobbled Brunson, right? They didn't even mention he was hobbled. Just what a great job Nesmith is doing. Not a peep, not one word during the entire telecast about the job Deuce McBride did, and chipped in, I believe it was 17 points. So we'll talk about Deuce, and we'll talk about the discovering Burks. You know, when we win tomorrow and we go into the Eastern Conference Finals, we found a rotation player who can actually contribute, right? A lot to talk about. Let me bring in the game. Jerrell, Knicks in 6, Ajay the villain, hit the like button coming in the door. And Geoff Klafter, the Brunson burner for MVP. How we doing, fellas?
Much better.
Salute to the chat.
Always a pleasure to be here, and always an honor to be here, and always fun talking about the Knicks.
Ooh, especially at this time of
Yeah.
the year. Oh, yeah. Especially at this, like, I didn't even know where the Knicks picked in the lottery. Like, usually we having shows. you know, who's available. Having lottery shows to see where the Knicks are gonna fall. I didn't even know. I forgot. I was like, oh, they had the lottery. All
I
right,
think I think they're 24, 25 or
yeah,
25,
all right,
26, somewhere
whatever.
around
You know,
We're not drafted at those spots anyway. So
right. Shout out to the chat. I appreciate you. Appreciate you. Listen, we're gonna start the way we always do with who and what stood out for you in game 5. If you want to talk about the series overall, you can. But yeah, who and what stood out for you in game 5? Jerrell, AJ, Geoff. Next time around, Geoff, AJ, Jerrell, and then we'll mix it up.
Cool. For me, it's the heart of this team. Period. Like after game 4, Steph, you had a show on the Queen's Court. Almost like you was giving a eulogy. It's not just the people that was on the panel, people in the chat. Like everybody was like, "Oh, this is over. We got blown out." What? I was like, man, I still thought it was going to be Knicks at 6. I thought we was going to come back. I didn't think we was going to come back the way that we did, beating them by 30 points at the Garden. But like, I don't know. You could tell we have fresh legs. That's one of the reasons why I really think that we need to buckle down and beat them in 6, because it's a short turnaround time when it goes to game 7 this time too, even though it is going to be at the Garden. I don't want a quick turnaround time just like we had last time. Like our guys always, it's always going to be a minute's talk with us because we only have a 7-man rotation.
Right.
But the heart of this team, Knicks in 6. I told everybody on the panel, I'm talking to the chat now, that I was going to say Knicks in 6 pretty much for like 2 hours tonight, because that's what my message is going to be the whole time. I really don't think we're going to take that L tomorrow. I think we're going to go in to the field house in Indiana and beat them. And plus they are a hard team to beat at home. I don't remember the last time they lost at home. They're very, very good in Indiana, but we're going to buckle down and we're going to win the game tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm with you. And don't let it be close coming down the stretch.
Yeah, it's a wrap.
It's a wrap. Ajay, who and what? You're right. Thanks, Jerrell, because we always pick players. I always pick players. And you with the what stood out for you, which was the heart of the team. Yeah. Ajay?
Besides the heart of the team, it's the I want to say their confidence. This team lost by 31 points. Nobody was shook. Everybody was like, listen, we just had a bad game. And when you go back and watch the game, you realize they just had a bad game. And it happens in NBA. These guys, they never had any doubt that they were going to come out and body slam the Indiana Pacers. They never faltered. Like after the game, everybody said the same thing. The team meeting, I guess, just to remind guys, listen, man, let's stop playing with our food, man. Let's, this is just a speed bump. Let's just go over this thing and go to Boston. I know that's not what they say, because they always next game. They really don't try to look past the next game. But who stood out? Tom Thibodeau.
wait, what? Say that again. I don't know.
Listen, we have to go back and repeat. Just
I had to unmute my mic. Did I hear you just say Tom Thibodeau?
No, you didn't hear me.
Okay.
For him to first of all, he watched our show on Monday, Queen. That's the first thing. He actually watched the show and he took our advice. Everything we're saying, he literally did everything down to the teeth of what we're saying. And for him to have the, I don't want to say the word, but the nerve to pull what he pulled out of the blue, totally confused everybody, including the Pacers, who didn't know what to do. Okay, I'm sure 3 days later they're gonna figure something out, and we'll probably talk about that later during the show. What kind of adjustment do we think the Pacers are gonna make, right?
Mhm.
But then, he dug deep in the bag of tricks. He went to a lineup that we ran, throughout the season.
Mhm.
We started that way with that lineup for about 5, 6 games, 7 games. I don't remember how many games it was, and we were very
Started with
successful.
Golden State, I think, and I think throughout the rest of the season, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I mean, we went, and that's the lineup that was very successful.
Mhm.
And Tom Thibodeau, he went back to that. He went back to look at the video. He went back to the drawing board, say, you know what, that lineup is gonna work, and it did. Okay, so shout out to Tibbs, the coaching staff, and the players
Right.
who, went out there and executed. Because you could start that lineup all you want, you could do pick and rolls all you want, but if guys are not hitting shots, then you're not going to be successful. These guys were focused. Okay?
Laser.
They're laser focused. They know, listen, we're a better team, and we're not going to let this team come on here and then trying to get cute. And that's just, they went in there, took care of business.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like Jerrell said, the heart, the grit, their determination and confidence, and the coaching staff and the players for executing what the coaching staff was telling them.
No doubt about it. Jeff, let me read this super chat right before you go. Shout out to Six Silk Sutton. Appreciate the super chat and for rocking with us today. Thoughts on Carlisle wearing earplugs at MSG? Soft team, soft coach. Listen, I know Rick Carlisle after game, I don't know, 1 or 2, he was softening up the officials and, talking about small market team. But to me, that was a soft ass move right there. You can soften up the officials by complaining, trying to get the edge. Listen, Pat Riley did it. Van Gundy did it. Coaches do that. But give the smart. He just sound to me when he said that, he sounded like a whining kid. Give the small town teams, the small market teams a chance. I'm like, really? They're like, that's what you're going to when Denver just won a championship and Minnesota and OKC finished 1-2 or 1-3, whatever it was, in the Western Conference Final. Get a team. Get a team. It's not about you being in a small market. It's about being able to get a team. So yeah, soft six Silk Sutton. That's
sucker move.
Sucker. Working the refs, but you're gonna have to find a different sentence to to work it in my opinion. Geoff?
Well, I got to start by giving Isaiah Hartenstein his flowers. I think he just pulled down another offensive rebound while we were talking here. That man, 12 of them, like unbelievable performance. And it's so cool because here's a guy who said that we didn't represent the fan base the way that we should have in Game 4. And it's one thing to say that, and it's something completely different to say that, and then you come out and you have the best game of your life. He just ripped the heart out of the chest of the Pacers in that game. He was so good. And then the other thing that stood out to me is that through 3 quarters, the Pacers were 11 of 19 from beyond the arc, and they got a really good whistle in that game.
Oh my
God! They still got beat by 30 points. Like when the Knicks lost by 31, we shot like 4% from the field. This wasn't a case of the Pacers shooting poorly or getting a bunch of calls go against them. This was the Knicks wanted it more, and they got to every loose ball, and they had 29 more shots than the Pacers. That doesn't even seem like it's possible, but we saw it.
Over 100 shots the Knicks took, I think.
Yeah.
Wow.
And to hold the Pacers, one of the elite offenses of all time, to 91 points. And not only to hold them to 91 points, they had 32 in the first quarter.
Right.
They had 32 in the first quarter and ended with 91 points. That is some of the best defense you will ever see anytime, anywhere. It was just phenomenal effort on both sides of the floor. And what's really cool about it too, and I know I keep using that word, but everybody had a major contribution. It was a complete and total team win. In other words, you couldn't have done it without anybody. I mean, DiVincenzo didn't shoot the ball well, but it was his moxie and his toughness and his ability defensively and all of these things that just added up. And I thought he was huge. And of all the Knicks that played, I think you would make the argument that he probably had the worst game out of all of them, but he still played well. You know, Precious Achiuwa gets switched to the bench. Precious Achiuwa had a fantastic game, in my opinion. I thought he did really well. I thought the role matched him better. I just liked how it just seemed like all the pieces fit together better, and it's not clunky like it was when Precious is in the starting lineup. You can go with your 7 man. And there's a natural, you can have Precious to back up the 4 or the 5 there. You're not having to borrow a Jericho Sims who Jerrell loves it when he's on the floor, or anything like that. And then shout out to Alec Burks, man. This is a man who didn't play for a month, and the last 3 games has been absolutely lights out shooting the basketball. And in a time when the Knicks needed him in the worst way. You want to talk about a pro's pro, a guy who easily could have put his head down and gotten discouraged, but he just waited his turn and he said, I'm going to stay ready. And here in the clutch moments in the playoffs, Alec Burks is a key member of this rotation again, and one that we're going to need moving forward. And you have the confidence that he's going to play well.
Yeah.
Because not only his decision-making offensively, not only has it been better, his defense has been considerably better as well. He's never going to be a lockdown defender, but those were 5 guys on a string, no matter who we had out on the floor. Yeah. On Tuesday, and it was a thing of beauty to watch.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I agree with everything everyone has said so far.
I want to add up a little something to what Geoff just said, because he stayed on DiVincenzo a little bit, who only had 8 points.
Hold on, leave some meat on the bone. I'm sorry to use Ron.
I know he touched it up. I just wanted to. Okay, go ahead.
I'm gonna touch it up. I'm gonna touch Devo up, and then I'll leave a little corner of the chicken wing for you. Finish it out. I want to talk about McBride, and I talked about him in the in the intro. His defense on Halliburton was phenomenal, and I'll go back. I watched the second half. I'll go back. I wish you could just do something on the TV where you could just spotlight a play or spotlight a matchup and just watch them the entire game, because I wonder if Halliburton just got frustrated. I don't know. The cameras wasn't on him, so I don't know, because he didn't seem aggressive at all. And McBride was able to deny him the ball, with his long arms, and his quick feet, was able to really deny him the ball. Just took him out the series. It's like they was playing without Halliburton, basically, So shout out to, Deuce. And like I said, he also, when they tried to double team Brunson did the right thing, passed it to whoever was open. But the key, I know everybody wants, shout out to Lady in the Shop. I was listening to their show this morning, her and Diva Locks, 2 Knicks chicks. Everybody wants Brunson to distribute the ball and get everybody. Yo, you got to hit your shots, because if he's getting double teamed, he is making the right decision. He passed it out to McBride. McBride hit a shot. It got swung to the baseline to Burks. Burks hit 2. They was making a comeback. I think they cut it to 12, swung it in the corner. Burks back up to 15. So shout out to McBride and Devo. Let me tell you, you could tell how wound up and how ready the Knicks were the way Devo responded to whatever went on with him and Miles Turner. I was like, yo, I thought the pick was a little more harsh than whatever was going on with him and Miles Turner. Maybe there was some talking and some yapping going on, but that looked like the 90s Knicks right there. That he looked like John Starks, basically.
Mhm.
You know,
He did. It's
the
true.
way the way he got up and got in his face, I'm like, yo, the Knicks are not playing, you know? And what did he say after the game? He said they trying to play tough. He ain't no tough guy. This is our identity. This is who we are. It's not something that we just play on Sunday.
Loved it.
You know what I mean? So, you know, shout out to Devo. I'm gonna leave a little more on the bone for Ajay. You know, shout out to you know, McBride, and you know, shout out to Precious. I thought Precious did much better in his matchup with Siakam. You know, the times when he was matched up with him, I thought he did much better this game. But you know, to Jerrell's point, the heart of this team. Because I was like, I ain't know how to feel after game 4. I said, all right, game 5 is gonna let me know what it's about. You know what I mean? Then when I saw them, I said, all right, okay, we you know, we good. Yeah, that's all I have. Ajay, you wanted to say some more about Devo?
Well, and Geoff mentioned that he only had 8 points, but he had a great game. Not only his effort on, you know, on the defensive end, on you know, playing the passing lane and trying to disrupt everything, but just like you mentioned, him mixing it up, you know, with the other guys. You realize every scuffle, he was like either the instigator, he was at the center of it. You know what I'm saying? That Isaiah Jackson pick, that was on him. You know what I'm saying? Then that you saw him going at it with TJ McConnell. Let him know, like, please, all right, this is you're not it. You're not him. All right, relax. Take it easy. You have a couple of good games against the Knicks. All right, but relax. And then you saw him going at it with Miles Turner. Let him know, even after the game, he was still hot. He was still blood still boiling.
Mm-hmm.
Say, man, listen, saying you're not a tough guy is basically saying you're soft.
You're soft.
You're a wuss. All right. That's him telling Miles Turner, come on, man. You're a sweetheart. Relax. Take it easy. All right. Take a foul and keep it moving. That's what you got to do. That's what he said.
Right.
You know, salute, lady and the chef. Yeah, take a foul, keep it moving. Ain't no. He's like, you trying to you talking. Nobody's gonna fight in the NBA. That's what he said. You're not gonna fight in the NBA. Take a foul, keep it moving. Right. Pretend you're tough. Get out of here.
Right.
Come on, man. You Miles Turner. You've been in the league for so long. We know who you are. You're a little 3-point shooting over there. You're not even down there banging it with the big bodies, man. Come on. Right.
I just couldn't figure out, like, he must have said something to him, because I would think that pick on from Jackson, that wrapped his bone. I was like, yo, that's the one I'm getting.
It's the dunk, the play before that, the dunk. Like DiVincenzo came out of nowhere and with the putback.
Right.
I think, you know, Miles Turner kind of got offended at that. Like, he was all in his feelings about it, man.
Yeah, I guess so.
I love Devo's energy, but we still need him to make them shots, though.
Yeah, we do.
I know we won and everything, but his shooting looked like John Starks too.
Game 7.
He needs
34 in one game, 4 the next.
Yeah, like we need that aspect of his game as well. But he did play well though. But yeah, we need those shots to fall in order to get a win out of Indy.
Yeah. No doubt about it. What do you think? Do you like our chances in game 6?
You talking to me?
No. Just there we go. Geoff, Ajay, and Jerrell. If you have to put a percentage on it, or however you want to explain it, yeah.
I'm not going to put a percent. You know, I don't do that, and I don't make predictions. But what I will say is this: I do feel pretty good about the health of Jalen Brunson. I feel good that we had a couple days to rest. I think that works in our favor. I feel good that we kind of, for the first time in a long time, kind of refound our identity in game 5. You know, this team was built in so many ways on its defense and its rebounding. And we haven't been a great defensive team since the month of March, really, and so it was good to see us have a lockdown effort where everyone was connected without having OG Anunoby in the lineup, especially. I thought that was really good. But, it's just one game. We've got, the job's not finished, and, the closeout games are always the hardest, right? We're going to get Indiana's best punch. I do kind of hope that they don't flamethrower from 3 like they seem to have most of the series, but I'm not sure how sustainable that is. You'd figure they'd start to miss at some point, but I mean, just because of averages, if nothing else. But Miami was able to do it for 2.5 series before they cooled off, so you never know. Then last year's playoffs, obviously, I'm talking, but yeah, I like our chances because Brunson is the best player on the floor. And when you have the best player on the floor, then that's an advantage. And that everything else, we discovered that Neesmith is not the answer. Nembhard is not the answer. They won't even put Halliburton on him. So what other choices do they have? I mean, I guess they can play TJ McConnell a ton of minutes, but McConnell can't guard him either. And oh, by the way, the refs are letting Indiana be way too physical with Brunson. I mean, they're not letting anybody else play anybody in the playoffs like they're just letting them. I mean, it's like the 90s again. They're letting them hand check him. They're letting him beat him up the whole way down the floor. I mean, he just taking a pounding and not getting to the free throw line that much. I mean, what he had 7 total free throws, I think, in that game.
Should have had 20.
Could have had 20 is right. So, but I think the Knicks will come out with a laser focus. I think it's going to be a really close game. And then it'll come down to the last 4 or 5 minutes and whoever makes the most plays. And again, we've got the best player on the floor.
Yeah. And he's healthy, or it looks like he is anyway. Ajay?
Well, I will put a percentage on it. And my percentage is the number of likes we have is the percentage of chance. Is like right now, we're only at 29%. So chat, do your job, do your part. Let's get this thing as close to 100% as possible. We get 80 likes, we have 80% chance of winning the game. Plain and simple. All right. So let's get this thing going, man. I think we have like 100 people out there, or 99 people. So let's get this. Let's get the thumbs up, man. Let's get that close to 100. So you have a better. Queen, listen. We're just a better team. We're the better team. Okay. The Pacers cannot stop the Knicks. Okay. The only chance the Pacers have is if we're not hitting our shots. They can't play defense. We saw it. They cannot play defense. They're not capable. They just don't have it in them to play defense. So if we're hitting our shots, we're good. Like, we're going to win the game. Okay. And of course, we need a great defensive effort like we had in Game 5. Okay.
Yeah.
The stars are lining up right now for us. The New York Liberty beat Indiana tonight in the WNBA. So that's looking good. Right now, the Timberwolves is wiping the floor with the Denver Nuggets. Granted, still the first half, because we want that series to tie, so we could have. We'll talk about that later, also. Mm-hmm. So we could have the extra couple of days to rest before Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Final. So the stars are lining up for us. The guys just got to go out with energy and do the job. Stop playing with your food, guys. Just go ahead and get it done. All right. We're better than the Pacers. They ain't got nobody. They physically cannot beat us. If we lose, we beat ourselves, like we did in Game 4.
Yeah.
So.
Jerrell?
Well, for me, Knicks in 6 again. But yeah, my percentage is really high. Like before the series started, I predicted the Knicks in 5. I think we're really, really better than Indiana, and I think my prediction would have came true if it wasn't for that shot by Nembhard in Game 3.
Yeah.
So the only bad game that we played was Game 4. yeah, I think we can go in there and win. I think we should have won game 3. It didn't fall for us, but yeah, I'm very, very confident that we're gonna win this game. The turnaround time for game 7, though, Ajay, I actually think since Boston won already, if we do win on Friday, game 1, if we win, game 1 is still gonna be on Sunday, though, I think.
No, I thought they said Tuesday. Because
Really?
game 7 of the Denver series would be on Sunday.
Yeah, but what do that got to do with the East, though? They don't
That
have to be on the same
they
day.
they spreading it out. That's what I
Okay.
heard. That's what I heard.
Okay, I could be wrong, but hopefully I am wrong. Like I don't want to.
I heard what Jerrell heard. Actually.
Yeah, I thought
I heard that
game
we were
1
going to
supposed to be
play
Sunday,
Sunday afternoon either way.
regardless.
I heard they would have one game on Sunday and one game on Tuesday.
I heard it was going to be the Knicks on Sunday and Tuesday.
Yeah, I could be wrong. I don't
Well,
know.
let's look at it while we're doing the show. We'll look at it.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I heard.
I hope it's Tuesday.
I definitely hope it's Tuesday.
I heard that on the radio.
But regardless, I think we still gonna get this win. I think our guys are rested. We got that extra day of rest. I don't think they're gonna be able to beat us. I think they Hart already took.
Yeah. I think. I mean, this is actually what I meant to talk about in the other segment of what stood out. But it's going to be the same for what I'm for tomorrow's game, and that's Brunson bouncing back health wise and looking like himself.
Mm-hmm.
That definitely stood out last game, and that's going to be a factor in tomorrow's game. If Brunson is healthy, the Knicks win. The Knicks win. He had 44 points and put to bed whatever the narrative was about Neesmith and McConnell and Nemhard and the pizza man and all these guys and people who can guard Brunson because he has problems with length. And he put it on him yesterday. And I mean, whenever we played them. And I anticipate the same thing. And I think it was Jerrell, Ajay's point about hitting shots, you're going to have to double them. And when they double them, is McBride and Burke and Hart going to hit shots? And if they do, and I believe they will, it's a wrap. One thing about this team, they're not resting on game 7. I think they're going in there trying to avoid game 7, if at all possible. I think that's their mindset, and I think either it's going to be a blowout, for the Knicks, or the Knicks are going to be right there like game 3 in crunch time. And this time, I anticipate we make all the right plays, get the rebounds, Hartenstein, no tap outs, getting the rebound, hitting our shots down the stretch. I see the Knicks winning in 6. I think it's going to be a close game, though. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a crunch time game, and we're used to that. I don't foresee a game 7. I just don't. The Knicks are a better team. They're a better defensive team. They're a better rebounding team. They're a grittier team. Now they may not be able to match Indiana's desperation, right? Because this is it, so they may have that edge. Other than that, I just don't see it. I don't see it.
Queen, I don't even think it's going to be close. And it's not going to be a blowout. It's going to be a comfortable 10, 12-point win.
Sign me up. I'm ready.
Yeah.
Where do I sign?
Yeah. The first half, they're going to be close because they're going to, the adrenaline, the emotions, the crowd with them. But after halftime, we take care of business, put the smack down and get rid of them.
Yeah, no doubt. Let's talk about Brunson's bounce back game yesterday and what you expect to see from him tomorrow. What adjustments you think, Indiana may make. Anything Brunson you want to talk about, Ajay?
Can I start with the adjustments I think they're gonna make?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
I think Rick Carlisle and his coaching staff is gonna say, you know what? Stick with Brunson one-on-one. Forget the double teams because that's not working. Let him get his and just keep everybody else in check. I think that's what he's gonna do. I don't know if it's gonna work because obviously Brunson's tough one-on-one. So they're probably gonna put Aaron Nesmith on him because he gives he's decent on him. He can't stop him, but stopping Brunson means like he scores like 28 points. So if you get Brunson 28 points, they keep everybody else in check. I think that's what they're gonna do. I don't know if that's gonna work, but that's what he's gonna try to do. I mean, it'd be crazy for him to just do the same thing that he did the last time. That obviously doesn't work because not only Brunson get his, but the other guys, it had it been if DiVincenzo wasn't missing shots, like everybody was getting this.
Yeah, and the thing about double teaming, you're not in good rebounding position too because everybody is in rotation. Everybody is scrambling, and so
I mean, you're already not a great rebounding team. And then you're out of position. So it just like kind of makes it even worse.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't think I think that's what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
So Tibbs, if you're watching, be ready because he'd be watching the show. Be ready to start thinking about your halftime adjustment you gotta make to counteract that, what they're gonna be doing.
You know what? I wonder how much adjustments there are at this point in the season. I mean, at this point in the series, maybe you can make a little something here and there, but putting McBride in, that was a rotation adjustment. I guess you could do some things with. I guess you could do a few things.
Yeah,
but
and he'll play by ear too, like because he'll get a feel for the game. If Aaron Nesmith's having a good game, he'll let him play more minutes. If Brunson's is chewing him up and spitting him out, he'll put in TJ McConnell to see if he has. So whoever's having a better game will play more minutes. He'll balance the minutes out that way.
Right. Yeah.
You know
If Brunson is healthy, I wouldn't be surprised if some of those guys get into foul trouble. He's crafty like that. So that's if the officials call it.
Yeah, exactly. Because game 5, they tried so hard to give that game to the Pacers, man. It just was. They tried so hard to keep him in the game at least.
Yeah, everything was more for us. We're like, oh, that should be a flagrant one, marginal contact.
Yeah,
no foul, marginal. I'm like, really?
A little fight.
I'll never hear marginal contact again. Will be too soon. I hate that phrase.
Exactly.
All right. Shout out to the chat queen because right now we have 50% chance of winning tomorrow. So just keeping a tab on that.
Oh boy. Geoff, just your thoughts, and then Jerrell on
Well, I do want to say I think that he's not 100% just yet, and I think the extra day of rest is going to help him because he was 12 of 18 in the first half. And then he struggled from the field in the second half. I think he was like 6 of 17 in the second half. And we survived and we managed to, we had enough of a cushion that we didn't, necessarily need to rely on him down the stretch. And he did hit a few big shots in the second half, but not nearly like he did in the first half. So, I think we're going to need an efficient game from him. I'm not going to put a number on it. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes for 40 and 5 again, though. That just seems to be like where his numbers are gravitating when he's healthy in these playoffs, which is, out of this world good. Like better than anybody who's ever done it good, nearly. So, and if we get that, then Indiana's toast. I mean, they don't. But again, I don't know, like, sure, there are adjustments you can make, and I think one of the best adjustments that was made in the series was bringing Deuce in for all of those screens for Brunson. He screened for him 22 times in Game 5, and that was supremely effective because the Pacers didn't want to switch, and so it gave Brunson lanes to operate, and then if not, then he had that one gorgeous pass that got Deuce open at the top of the key for a triple. And then other than that, when they doubled, we just like one pass and boom, and then we've got 4-on-3. And we were very good in those types of situations as well. So,
Right.
you know, like I said, like you said earlier, the only thing that stopped Brunson really has been his health. So if he's there, what are the Pacers? What poison are the Pacers going to pick? Because they don't have any good solutions. It's not like the Celtics who have Drew Holiday or, you know, their teams. Yeah, exactly. Or Derek White. They have, you know, it's just defensive stoppers that, and to be clear, like we like to, you know, be negative about the Pacers defense, but their starting five actually has a very good defensive rating. So they're, you know, they play with a lot of pace and they, you know, they make a lot of shots. And so, you know, maybe they don't put as much emphasis on it. What they're not is they foul quite a bit, and they're not a good rebounding team generally. But up until last game, the Pacers were dead even with us on the boards for the most part through the first 4 games of the series. So we really need to make a concerted. If we can dominate the battle on the glass, we'll win the game. Those extra possessions are huge. And the other thing is, Indiana turned the ball over a whole lot in that game 5. I think they had like 18 turnovers, and we were turning those turnovers into points. I don't think they're going to be that loose with the ball this time. If they are, it means that Deuce in the lineup with DiVincenzo is just the perfect solution to their offense, which would be really cool if that's the case. I don't know if that. I haven't looked at it close enough to say, or we don't have a large enough sample size to say one way or the other, I don't think, but win that possession battle, play Knick basketball, and then put it in the hands of number 11.
Yeah. Jerrell, just your thoughts on Brunson from game 5. What's your expectation for going into game 6? If you think they're going to do anything different?
If you thought they was physical with Brunson before, it's going to be super physical tomorrow. Like, it's a closeout game for them. They're going to throw the kitchen sink at Jalen Brunson.
But you don't think what how the officials manage that could be a difference in the game. If they allow it, it's one thing. If they don't allow it and it's quick whistles, oh man,
yeah, that's true. I guess maybe I'm thinking that they are going to allow it because for the most part they've been allowing it. like Geoff said earlier, like since when hand checking has been legal again? Like Nembhard, I see him put like both palms on him, like palms, like this, like that. That's weird, and they're not calling it at all. T.J. McConnell does the same thing all up and down the court. So yeah, they're gonna throw the kitchen sink at Brunson. Will it affect Brunson though? No. Now that I see that he's not playing hobbled anymore, especially since the last game. That's why I'm so confident in us winning. Because I don't think they can do anything to stop Brunson. I think this game is going to be more about us stopping them than the other way around.
Right.
Because the shots that they were missing in the Garden, they're going to make at home. And it might be vice versa for us. That's why it's going to be tough. I think our defense is going to be the calling card this game, not like our offense. Because I think we can score on Indiana almost anytime we want to.
Mm-hmm.
They're not good on defense as a team, but the other way around, can we score enough to keep up with them at home? That has been the key of the game for me. Like, are we hitting shots? Right. Because if we're not hitting shots, it doesn't matter what they do with Brunson. Yeah, like it's going to have to be our offense, and Brunson's going to be Brunson. I'm worried about everybody else.
Right. And yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say that last comment you somebody asked, would the Pacers be stupid enough to put Pascal Siakam on? I don't think they'd be stupid enough to do that, but they could use him as the double guy, as the double team guy, and leave Josh Hart a little bit open. They could do that. I don't know why they didn't try that more somewhere along the way when they were getting blown out. They you know you know what I'm saying? Leave Josh Hart as the open guy and use Siakam to. But what Tibbs does, it's easy to counter. Just have Josh Hart nowhere near Brunson to do that. You know what I'm saying? So that this like the other side of the floor to keep Pascal Siakam away. But I'm surprised they didn't even attempt that. They didn't try that more than they did. I saw maybe 2 plays they did that.
Well, don't you think though that when they try and do that, we use Josh Hart as the screener, and then he has a very good ability when he gets the ball back to attack the defense, either going straight to the rim for a layup or attacking and looking to spray the ball out to the corners for a 3. Our offense has been very effective when they do that. And so I think one of the counters for the Knicks is actually not to say get them far apart, because that might affect their spacing, because you can kind of not have to guard him if he's in the opposite corner. But if you bring him into the action as the screener and then you get him the ball as the roll man, he's very effective in that situation.
Well, yes, but analytics will tell you that Josh Hart is the least likely to score out of all those guys or make the right play. Because if you notice the last game, introducing McBride to the starting lineup, so they didn't use Hart to set the screen anymore, even though he's good at passing out of that pick and roll, right? But now you have 2 guards, 1 guard set the pick. Either way, it's like a death match for them, because if you set the pick, then now Brunson end up with whoever was guarding Deuce McBride is barbecue chicken for him. You double team him, now you go to McBride. If Deuce McBride's hitting his shots, I mean, there's just no way out of that for the Pacers. There's just no solution. You know what I'm saying? But if they're able to use Siakam as the double team guy, if it so happened that Josh Hart's in the area and they use Siakam, that now I think analytics tell you they have a better chance of. We have a lesser chance of scoring that way. Not that it's going to work, but the chances are less that the right play would happen that way. And that doesn't mean Josh Hart is not better or he's not good, but you realize Josh Hart, he drives to the basket when he takes off from the backcourt, not from the top of the key, not so much. He doesn't do that a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? So they go by that. That doesn't mean it'll work. They just take their chances, what's least likely to work.
Right. Well, now that we're talking about Josh Hart, listen, Josh Hart, I hope you or family members listening. I need you to relax. When he gets the ball and he's going coast to coast, I'm comfortable. When he wants to throw it ahead to somebody, just bring it up yourself. Just bring it up yourself, because it's hit or miss. A lot of time it goes awry, and he's so juiced up, like it's a fastball he's pitching out there. Like, relax. Like, I'm in my house, whenever he gets the ball and he looks up to court, I run to the screen. Calm down, and relax, please. Okay. I think one time he had like 5 turnovers or 3 turnovers in the first quarter. Calm down. Gee. But anyway, has Brunson entered the superstar conversation? We'll talk about it more in the off season. Some people may want to see how he performs against Boston, but I think so. And I know some people want to say, he's not he hasn't won an MVP yet. Listen, they considered Embiid a superstar before he won that MVP, right? They was considering him a superstar before then. To me, when I think about superstar, I think about unstoppable. I think about you pulling your hair out, trying to figure out how you going to stop this guy. You want to double him, you want to single him, you want to cut him off on the kneecap. Like, what are you going to do to stop this guy? And to me, that's where Brunson is. You know, for these superstars, you know exactly what they want to do. You know exactly what their spots are. There's no secrets, but you still can't stop them from getting to their spots and getting their shots off. And in my opinion, Brunson is as good as anybody else in the. Now, listen, if you want to say somebody is better, fine. You can say somebody, but he is in that conversation, in my opinion. And to me, I'm ready to say he is. But I'm just interested in what you guys have to say and what the chat have to say. Yeah, Ally Wise, who was this? This was Chris Broussard. He said they said Trey was a superstar too, then they took it back. Yeah, no. I mean, that's fair. That's fair. Because Trey there was a time when he was just rolling. So that's fair, you know, for those who think it might be a little bit too soon. But yeah, I'm interested in what you guys have to say.
Can't stand Chris Broussard, by the way, but go ahead, guys. I'm interested in what you have to say. I can't stand that guy.
Well, I don't think that's the right question. Has Brunson entered the superstar conversation? In my opinion, Brunson has ended the superstar conversation.
It's not a conversation.
The man is a superstar. There's not any conversation to be had. Like, what else does he need to do? I mean, when your name is in the same discussion as guys like Michael Jordan and LeBron James for the stuff that he's doing in these playoffs, he's averaging like 33-7 a game in the playoffs in 11 games, and he's had 4 bad games, and he's still doing that, right? And so, like, what else does he have to do? I mean, are you going to say? I don't think it's fair to say, well, he doesn't have a championship yet, so he can't be a superstar. No, that's not right. Like, he still has a chance to get there. He's on the most undermanned team. He's undersized. He gets beat up on every single play with a whistle that no other superstar would even put up with, much less have to put up with, right? Like, can you imagine Tatum and Brown if they got the whistle that Brunson does? And had to take the beating that Brunson does? Nobody does. I mean, he's like if he's not in the superstar conversation, what is your definition of a superstar? Because if you're talking about a top 5 player in the league, name me 5 players who are playing better in this postseason than he is. If you want to say that it's just one postseason, oh wait, he did it last postseason. Oh wait, he did it the postseason before that in the Western Conference. So what else does he need to do? I mean, he's the clear leader of this team. He does everything that you want him to do. He draws charges defensively, you know, more than anybody, right? And he's not even considered a good defensive player, but he tries hard on that end of the floor too. He's able to get to his spots. You can't to me, it's not a conversation. It's just anybody who's saying that he's not at this point is just trolling Knick fans.
Queen, I think so. I think one of them TNT clowns mentioned that, and I agree with them. When you have a player, and there's a whole list of players, they tell you, all right, when this guy's guarding him, he scores 60% of the time. When this guy's guarding him, like they have like a whole list of guys, the results of like how they fare when they guard you. You're a superstar. Like, who else do they play? Like, that means right now, Rick Carlisle and his staff is trying to figure out how to stop Brunson. That's a superstar right there. Okay, they trying to figure out. Okay, they looking at the analytics. Okay, when Neesmith is on him, this is what he does. When TJ McConnell's on him, this is how what he does. His percentage. You know, you're a superstar. That's it. You're a superstar.
I mean,
he's doing things that ain't been done since Michael Jordan.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, yeah,
Steph,
it's fair.
I think you only hesitant just because you
No,
don't
I
want
was not anymore.
to.
Early in the season, I was no, not
Yeah,
anymore. Not
I
anymore.
apologize.
It's a wrap now. It's a wrap. He doing stuff Embiid didn't even do.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then and to, I think there's two Knicks chicks. I think that's Diva Locks.
Mhm.
And then Jerrell, I'll let you go. I'm gonna leave some meat on the bone for you too. Joker, Embiid, all of these guys was considered superstars before they won an MVP, before they won a championship. They were considered superstars. Embiid hadn't even got his team out the second. Well, neither has Brunson now. But I'm just saying, never got the team to the Eastern Conference finals. Definitely didn't perform the way Brunson is performing right now. Considered a superstar. Go ahead, Jerrell.
I was just gonna say you can tell he's a superstar just by the way that they're playing defense against him. Like Indiana don't play defense like this. Like TJ McConnell pressing somebody 94 feet. They haven't played that way all season. They play against us like that because they have to. That's the only way they have any chance of stopping Jalen Brunson. Mm-hmm. And for that reason alone, he's pretty much unstoppable unless you mark up a defense to try to stop him. And his vision is so good and he has such high basketball IQ, you still can't stop him then. Right. Because he's good with getting the ball out of his hand at the right time. So yes, he's a superstar. Like Geoff said, it shouldn't be any conversation anymore. If you don't think he's a superstar, you probably just, there's a little hate involved and probably don't watch him that often. But since the playoffs have started, without the
solidified it, right?
Without the way that they're playing defense and he doesn't get the whistle some of the other guys have, he will be averaging more than 40 points a game.
Yep.
Like easily too. Because the times that he did have a bad game, it wasn't because of the defense that was playing on him. He just had a bad game. Like the two game 1 and 2 against Philly. Mm-hmm. Even though we won those games, he didn't have a good game personally.
Right.
But it wasn't because of anything that they did. It was just because of him. So when you think of that, if a player is only having a bad game, it's because they just have an off night. Superstar should be next to their name.
Yeah. And not having, and shout out to all of the guys who's stepping up, the different guys who's stepping up each game, but to not have a definitive number 2 like some of these other superstars have. And those players make it easy for you. He doesn't have that. He can't go to the bench and sit down for 3 minutes. He barely sat down and he had to come back in the game. I mean, it's just where we are.
Shout out.
I was about to say, you know what's crazy? By the way he's playing now, we couldn't say this before because it was in real time and we was watching him do it. But now that we've seen what he's capable of, can you even imagine what this team would look like if we were healthy?
We had Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson, and Bogdanovich.
And OG.
And OG Anunoby steady.
Healthy.
Like,
everybody's healthy.
Like we were talking about.
I'm just telling you, it's a wrap. Just hang the banner. If they're completely healthy, it's a wrap. You can't beat them. You just can't beat them.
Like we were talking about whether this team is contenders.
Yeah.
If they were healthy, I don't even think that's a conversation either.
No. Yeah. No. And me and Geoff was talking about this before the show. Listen, if the Knicks want to upgrade, I mean, you can't blame any team for wanting to upgrade. But if the Knicks roll this same team back, I'm not mad.
Right.
And I was gonna say shout out to Alwise who said we got playoff Jimmy and Draymond hate from the sideline. Somebody got to be a superstar.
That's a great comment, Alwise. That is a great comment.
They're not even playing. They're on vacation and talk about our boy JB, man.
Right. Shout out to Latrell. Spree, I should say. Spree in the building. Appreciate you. Let's get into Deuce a little bit. I just think
I'm sorry. Before we get to Deuce, man, we got to check the likes over here, man. Right now,
Get him at you.
I'm refreshing. We got a 74% chance of winning that game tomorrow. Come on. Let's get that thing up there, man. We hit 100%. I'm going to sleep like a baby tonight because I know we win in that game. 74, 128 watching, only 74 likes, man. Let's get that thing up to 100, man.
Yeah, so I want to. I love this fan base. I love everybody in the chat. Y'all rock with us each each week. But I wanted to point out, who is this? Keith Turner. You wasn't that high on McBride. Nobody on this panel. You got to give me. I don't know about the rest of them. You got to give me a reason to be high on you. I'm not looking for what you could potentially be. I'm going to wait and see what you become. And once you become that, now I'm on the bandwagon. So those who want to take credit because you foresaw it, good for you. That ain't me. Deuce was stinking up the joint. He didn't have a handle. He couldn't get by his guy. That was real. Wasn't nobody making that up. That was real. Now you see his handle is better. He's able to get by guys. He's looking, a little better, when he's out there, on the court. Yes.
He's hitting his shots.
He's hitting his shots. When everybody was falling all over Ntilikina style because he was playing defense. He was shooting like 27% and everybody was just falling all over because, he's playing good defense. Listen, you're a point guard, an undersized point guard. You're going to have to do more to stick in this league than play defense. You got to be able to run a team. You got to be able to make at least one of them to go with your good defense. So no, I wasn't that high on him, right? When he started coming through this season, started hitting his shots, you saw him getting better. Then when he got in the playoffs, played the way he played. Yeah, I'm the queen of the McBride fan club right now.
That's right.
I got to see it. Same thing with Randall. I'm a big Randall fan, but he had to have that all-star, all-NBA season before I was like, okay, all right, okay. You know what I mean? So those who want to take credit for getting on the bandwagon early, great. That's great. That's not me. That's not me.
I was actually high on him coming out of college, and I was glad that we drafted him. But after we drafted him, I didn't talk about Deuce that much because he didn't give me a reason to talk about him.
Plain and simple.
It was the same thing with Grimes. I actually like Grimes coming out of college too, and I was glad that we drafted him. But after we got him, he still has to play well in order for me to keep that high expectation up. If he's not going to play well, and I don't care if he's like averaging 30 in the G League.
Right.
That didn't matter to me. Like, I like Deuce because of his intangibles, and when I was watching him in West Virginia, I never thought he was a point guard. Maybe that was the knock on him coming in because they tried to make him a point guard, like he can run a team when he first got here. But once Tibbs got him and molded him into what he wanted to do for the team, now Deuce seems like he's a perfect fit. But he had to grow into that. Like, Deuce now wasn't the Deuce that we drafted.
Correct. Right.
Deuce now isn't the Deuce of 6 months ago.
Nope.
Is right, Jeff?
Nope, he wasn't.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
Matter of fact, he didn't start coming along until Grimes left. I don't know what he showed like behind the scenes, and maybe that was a reason why it was easier to get rid of Grimes, that they saw behind the scenes, like in practice or whatever, that because he wasn't getting that many minutes then. But once Grimes left and he started getting more minutes, then that's when you saw Deuce becoming Deuce.
Yeah, and it was never about his confidence. Like, I felt like he was always a confident guy. It was about just putting it together in an NBA game, piece by piece. And he's done that. Like, when he brings the ball up the court, I don't feel shaky at all.
Right.
When Hart is bringing it up, I feel a little shaky. But
I think he feels shaky. Every time he bring it up, I'll be like, oh, man, pass the ball. Not going to lie. Like Josh Hart scared me when he
dribble handoff, because if he passed the ball, he might not get something that's supposed to go.
Like a baseball pitch, like he pitching. I'm like, relax. Oh man, I'm official now. Wiz.
Wiz.
Yeah, once Wiz bring you into the fold, you a fan now.
I'm queen of the Deuce fan club. I still need Deuce to show more ball handling and passing skills, but this is based on minutes and comfort in playing his game. I don't know if it's based on minutes and comfort. I think he just has to get better at it. And I think hopefully over the summer he will.
But Queen, I think the minutes do make a difference. If there's one positive we could take out of Game 4 is that Deuce, it was a lot of garbage time, and Deuce he got loose. He got to play a lot of minutes.
Okay.
And
you think that helped his ball handling?
No, not ball handling.
Well, that's what we're talking about.
It helped him get in the groove, get in rhythm,
and passing skills.
Get in rhythm.
I think the stuff that Deuce wasn't good at, he's still not good at.
Really?
They don't ask him to do those things anymore, though.
So you don't think his ball handling has gotten better?
No, he looked like the same dude. He's still not able to get past people one-on-one like that.
You think he's just playing the angles and that's why he's getting past?
Yeah, like the way, I don't know, like when you see him play, when he score is never off the dribble.
He gets in the lane sometimes for the pull-up.
Yeah, for the pull-up at the foul line. Yeah, but that's it. You're not gonna see him like at the elbow crossing nobody over and having like one-on-ones all the time. That's not Deuce's game. And I think a lot of time he tried to do that because he was able to do that in the G League.
Right. I mean, I'll check it out. I think I think you're right in the sense that there's not a lot of, he's not a Kyrie Irving ball handler. He's not he's not an Allen Iverson ball handler, but I think he's solid now. Before I was like, but now I feel like he gets it up the court, really quick. But you're right. Getting it up the court in a straight line and being a ball handler, I guess is too different.
Yeah, I don't want him dribbling a lot. Nah, Deuce dribble a lot. He's just dribbling in one place. He's not going anywhere.
Better with that. When he first was, I was like,
yeah, he got a lot better with that.
He got a lot better with that for sure. Yeah. Just your thoughts on his him playing Halliburton. Do you think they make any adjustments? And do you think he'll be just as successful in game? I was surprised they didn't try to pick him off to try to get Halliburton, more in the flow of the game.
I don't want to take anything away from Deuce. I think a lot of that had to do with Halliburton too.
That he wasn't aggressive.
Yeah, he wasn't aggressive. He didn't look like himself. We have to remember that he's injured as well, or not hurt. He's not injured. He's hurt because he still is playing. And when he plays, he's hurt and he's on that short rest too. He didn't look the same. Yeah, not saying that Deuce didn't play good defense because he did.
Right.
So I don't want to take anything away from him, but Tyrese Halliburton plays better than that usually.
But okay, all right.
Just by how aggressive he was, he seemed real passive. He didn't seem as explosive as he usually does. He didn't go to the hole like he usually does. Like he didn't look the same. Not saying that Deuce might have had a big reason for that, but like Halliburton didn't have a good game either.
Okay. All right. Anybody else? Just your thoughts on Deuce in Game 5? What you expect from him in Game 6?
Same kind of effort.
You on mute, Geoff.
Oh, my bad. Even if they do try and screen off of him or whatever, I think with the Pacers offense, just making them go 94 feet is a big deal because they run a ton of actions, like a lot of screening and movement. And if you don't start that until, 14 seconds on the clock instead of 18, you may not have enough time to get all of your rotations in to get the optimal shot. In other words, that's less rotations that the defense has to cover because you're not able to get into those actions as quickly. So I think just having him on the floor as a one-man full court press, and this matchup specifically is a nice weapon to have.
Yeah. We'll see. Now, Jerrell, if Halliburton have another 12-point game and a closeout, then I'm going to have to put it on Deuce.
It's all good. As long as we win, I don't care who get the credit.
And Wiz will be happy.
Yeah, I'm straight. I'm cool. I hope I'm dead wrong.
Right.
If that's the case.
Yeah, I think, we're going to need some scoring from Deuce and Burks.
Mm-hmm.
That's just it. I know I said, and I still feel this, he's a young player. Give him a little space. It's hard to expect young players to be consistent scoring wise in the playoffs. Ajay disagrees with me. But we need it. I mean, it's just all hands on deck right now, particularly in a closeout game. So if Deuce is hitting his shot, if Devo is hitting his shot, Devo.
If he hit
we
his
need
shot,
2 of the 3.
He
right?
will.
Right.
He
Everybody
will
don't have to
hitting
be
his
on,
shot.
but we
Right.
need 2 of the 3. 2 of the 3.
out of Devo, Burks, and Deuce, 2 of them got to be hit.
There's no ifs. DiVincenzo will come through tomorrow.
Yeah,
20, 25 points.
Yeah.
I think so. I think so too.
After the way, I mean, I thought he played okay, even though did he what did he shoot? He had 8 points. Was it lack of shots or he wasn't efficient?
Bad shooting
No,
night.
he was like 4 of 14 from the field or something like that.
Yeah, I wasn't playing by
6
that.
from the field.
That John Starks joke before. I wasn't playing. That was dead serious.
He had the shot,
bad.
just wasn't hitting them.
Right.
Okay. All right.
It just didn't look like it because we was blowing them out.
And because he was very active, he's doing it like everything else.
Right.
You know.
Right. But he'll rebound from a game like that. I'm glad he had a bad game and we still won because I expect him to be on point tomorrow.
I got to look at it. At one point, I think he was 0 for 6 from 3. I forgot what he did after that because after that, I was already pissed about his shooting.
Did
he was 0 for 6.
Did he hit a 3 at all?
No, I guess he didn't shoot anymore after that. And I told him you should stop shooting.
Yeah.
Like he could contribute in other ways. Like he wasn't good shooting the ball.
Just getting under everybody's skin is contribution.
Nick Live said he was a plus 32. Wow.
What's up?
Yeah, we blown him out, Queen.
Yeah, everybody was. I think I was a plus 18 at least. Like, we beat the mess out of them. Like everybody had a plus. I'm sure. If you had a minus in that game, that means you shouldn't be playing.
Yeah. Let's see what's what we'll get. Like I said, between Deuce, Burks, and Devo, 2 of those 3 are knocking down shots for us. I like our chances. Let's talk a little bit about Devo while we're on the on the subject. I think compared to the Philly season, he looking like a superstar out there. In this series, partly to Ajay's point that he's getting better looks, he's just not knocking them down. In this series, whereas in the Philly series, I think they was all into him. I'm not sure. Indy just doesn't have those type of players that that's gonna shut down Brunson and Devo, and they just don't have it. So he probably thinks this is like a walk in the park playing Indy compared to Philly. But what do we need from Devo tomorrow?
We need what game was that where he was killing?
3.
Game
3. Game 3.
7 of 11 for 3.
Right. We don't need him to do that because that was crazy. He was, he could throw the ball in the ocean and that's how the rim looked. Like he was making everything. We don't need him to be that Devo. We don't need him to score like 35. But we at least need
take
to
it,
get definitely take it. Definitely take it.
What do you mean we don't need him to?
Yeah. Let me rephrase that.
Speak
Yeah,
for
we need
yourself
him-
there, Jerrell.
Yeah, my bad. I'm sorry. I was wrong. We need him to do that again. So if we can do that again, there will be no game 7. Let's just say that. Like, he's capable of doing it. It's just that, like, he's still Donde DiVincenzo. He could be streaky. One game he'll have 30. Next game he might have 7. That's just how he's been like that. Not all season, but I don't know. That's how I think
Most
of
of
it
the
anyway.
season, Jerrell.
Yeah, he's a streaky shooter. Like he plays well almost every game because he's a good player. But when it comes to his shooting, sometimes he can be off. So hopefully that last game he was off, and he will be the game 3. Devo will come out.
Listen, I want us to win. You know why? One of the main reasons why I want us to win the game tomorrow.
Why is that, Ajay?
I'm tired of talking about Indiana Pacers, man. Who wants to talk about the Pacers?
It's a series.
Can we get to the real? Can we get to the Celtics to the real deal?
No, you can't. Listen. One game at a time. You can't overlook them,
I'm
though.
tired of talking about the Aaron Naismith. Who are these guys, man? Come on, man.
You say that. Let it knock on wood. Let us lose tomorrow.
Yeah, we're not gonna lose tomorrow.
See, that's what I'm saying. That's like all of a sudden your whole mood going flip flop.
Yeah, you're gonna come in here needing that Xanax that you needed for the first.
You be pissed off. You gonna be like F the Pacers. You ain't gonna like Reggie Miller even more. Like you go.
Listen. Right now, we got an 88% chance of winning that game tomorrow. All right.
That's get them likes up. Get them likes up.
Okay.
Get those likes up. We got 164 watching. I think we got like 80 some odd likes. Get the
88
likes up.
likes, man. Come on, y'all.
Yeah. And I don't have to say subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Yeah. But anybody else, Geoff, in terms of DiVincenzo tomorrow?
Well, you know what? It's kind of an advantage that Deuce brings also. And I think that the combination of Deuce and DiVincenzo defensively works really well because DiVincenzo isn't really the best one-on-one defender. Like if he's tasked with Halliburton, he's not really going to be able to shut down Halliburton. And I'm not saying that Deuce did, but what I'm saying is it activates him in other ways because he's not having to worry about Halliburton, that one-on-one matchup. He's able to play the passing lanes and play that help defense, which is really his strength. You know, and he'll get a lot of steals and a lot of weak side blocks and those sorts of plays because he's an excellent help defender, even if he's not the best. He'll never be confused with a lockdown one-on-one defender, but he is a very active and a very good defender. So I think that having Deuce in the game right next to him is going to be helpful as far as that's concerned. And the only other thing is make shots, man. Like, just hit shots. He's so good. I actually thought that Game 5 was his best game of the series, even more so than the game when he went supernova with from 3. I mean, I just thought that he didn't shoot the ball well, but Tibbs will tell you, Jay, that you don't have to shoot the ball well to play well. I don't know if you believe that or not, but Tibbs will tell you that. I really thought that he did that.
I agree. Devo played well, and so did Precious Achiuwa. He played well. He didn't shoot. It's not like he had a ton of points,
right? But it's Precious to me. He has a good game when he's not making mistakes. If he's not making mistakes and the ball is not, and he's not missing at the basket, I'm like, ooh, great game for Precious.
When is he not missing at the basket?
I'm about to say
Precious is going to blow at least one inside basket every game, and probably 2 if he gets that many.
I mean, we'll talk about it in the offseason. Like, if there was one thing we would want to see from each player next season, finishing at the basket has to be it for Precious Achiuwa.
Donde DiVincenzo, too. I feel like Donde gets to the cup quite a bit and doesn't finish.
As a 6'4" guard, I at least glad that he tries though, because Donde actually tried to dunk on people. That's what I like him.
Right.
But yeah, you right though. Like a lot of times he do go in there. Sometimes he can go in a little soft.
That's why Miles Turner don't like him.
Touche, AJ. Touche. You right.
Oh boy. Okay. All right. 40 minutes, Deuce, 23 points. Burks, 25 minutes, 19 points.
Take it. I'll take that right now.
Tomorrow? Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, I'll
Chalk
take
up the
it.
W if that
Yeah, I'll
happens.
take that.
If
Yeah.
Deuce goes for
That's
23 and
for tomorrow?
Burks goes for 19,
That's tomorrow?
Yeah.
Mhm.
chalk up the dub if that happens.
And DiVincenzo's 25 points. Listen, man, we're done. This thing's over.
We're gonna score 300 points at this rate.
Yeah.
Everybody's you get 25 points, you get 25 points, you get 25.
At the rate they play defense, I wouldn't be surprised.
Ah, Jay.
Oh boy. Let's just talk a little bit about the hearts on this team. You know, both Josh Hart and like Josh Hart is doing stuff that we just at this point in the postseason we just become accustomed to. How many rebounds he had? 14. Okay. Well, he only had 11. That's
Right.
it. You know, he's
Wait, I mean, iHeart wasn't leaving any for him to grab. There was no rebounds for him to grab.
right. No, I was
Everybody
getting
else.
is that he only had 11. Like that's how we see Josh Hart now. Like that's all. You know. But yeah, let's talk about Josh Hart and Hartenstein, whichever one you want to talk about.
Well, Josh Hart is playing so well, and he's done it for so long that we expect it from him now.
Right.
We didn't expect it from him like he's playing now before during the season. And he's done it in such a long stretch that, like, if he has a bad game, we're actually shocked.
Yeah.
That means he's kind of turned a corner that he's never been in before. Like, Josh Hart is playing the best basketball of his career.
Yeah.
He's not the only person under Tibbs that's like that too.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it's like Tibbs is the common denominator when it comes to that. He might not be the exact reason. You never know what these players are doing behind the scenes, but there are multiple players having career years under Tom Thibodeau right now, and Josh Hart is definitely one of them.
Yeah, I was talking to Tony Crow. Shout out to Tony Knicks and Bruises, and you know we was talking some off-season stuff. I'm not going to get too much into it, but I was like, I think Josh Hart is basically untouchable. I think that he's like Jimmy Butler in Miami. Like sometimes you find a player that just epitomizes who you are as a team, and that's a guy that you just can't let go of. And he's been traded multiple times. So I know Tone was like, well, he could do this on multiple teams. He can do what he's doing now on multiple teams because this is just who he is. Everybody can use a Josh Hart. But his value to us and our culture and what we do, I just can't see us trading Josh Hart, not as long as Thibodeau, is here. He is becoming what I thought he could be, an elite role player. This is just his second time in the playoffs. He's playing power forward in the playoffs. He has, so in terms of offensive rebounds, you guys may have seen this on Twitter. The players who are leading in offensive rebounds is Isaiah Hartenstein with 42, the Joker with 31, Gordon from Denver with 31, Hart and Mobley are tied for fourth place with 30. This guy is the shortest one out there. Getting a second, a second opportunity, one behind the Joker. Yeah,
That's crazy.
It's crazy. So we got two players in the top 4 in offensive rebounds.
And out of players still playing, we got 2 in the top 3 because Mobley's on vacation.
Yeah. Oh God. Oh boy. Yeah, I hear you, Keith Turner. I just don't see who you trade. I'm not putting Hart. I love Donovan. I'm not putting Hart in the Donovan Mitchell trade. I'm not putting Hart in a um
in any trade.
in a Mikal Bridges trade. I'm just not. Yeah, I'm not doing it. I understand if you I can understand people who want to do it. For me, I'm not. It's not something I would.
You know, we're gonna talk about that in the off season.
Yeah, that's off-season talk.
That's off season talk. The fascination with Mikal Bridges.
Because you said Mikal Bridges, that perked up my ears a little bit, Steph. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, but when you look at the numbers, Jerrell, it's not as rosy as it seems. All right. So we'll talk about that in the off season. We don't even want to go through it right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, the reason I wouldn't trade Josh Hart because you trading a piece of your identity too. But that identity of the team was here before he got here. He pretty much just enhanced it because it gave Tibbs like the ultimate glue guy, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
That don't mean Tibbs couldn't find another one. But like I said, this is off-season talk, and I'm not going to try to talk negative on Josh Hart because you talk about getting like all-stars now. But for what he does to the team, he is an all-star for us.
I just feel like we have I have other players that I would give up before I give up Hart. But you're right. This is off-season. This is off-season.
Yeah.
Talk. Hartenstein, cha-ching. I mean, like
Cut the check.
Yeah, he's not gonna he's not gonna get the little bag, Steph.
No,
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. But
there's only so much we can pay him. Like we can only give him we can only give him like 140% or because he's a bird rights player, isn't he? So that means and again, this is off-season talk. I'm sorry, but there's only there's a ceiling on the number of raise or the amount of raise that we can give him, and the question is, can he find that money someplace else on the open market?
I'm sure he will.
But I'm sure he will. But this is the thing, though. With easy to obtain incentives, the Knicks can get him up to $16 million. He's not commanding $16 million on the open market. So the base salary, yes, I believe it's $13 million, but they can put in easily obtainable incentives that can get that number.
Right. I'm just saying if someone wanted to pay him $20 million a year, the Knicks
listen, if you want to pay a center in today's NBA $20 million, you go right ahead. Yeah. But I think at $16 million, the Knicks would be right there with any other team. I can't. Yeah, it's possible. It's possible a San Antonio or somebody who has a lot of cap space may want to come and give them $20 million. But who, other than the Joker, and who else is making $20 million at the center spot?
Embiid.
No, not me. Other than Embiid and the Joker.
AD. I don't know how much he's making, but I'm sure he's making some good money. He's up there.
Yeah, he don't count.
But is he really? I guess he is a center. He plays power forward though sometimes.
Yeah, we're talking about all-star caliber centers here, people.
Yeah,
right. Like it's only a handful of them. Like there are exceptions to the rule, but what Steph said is correct though.
Yeah,
there's not that many of them getting paid that much.
It's
because there's not that many good centers
that want to pay him.
Rudy Gobert.
Well, he just won his fourth defensive player of the year, so he's going to get paid. Like he should get paid.
Yeah. Right. But we'll see. We'll see. I
actually think he's going to stay because I remember when he was on the Roommates. Did you guys watch the Roommates? Like with his interview on the Roommates, he said when he was with the Clippers, he tried to take a pay cut, but they chose John Wall instead of him. So he has that type of mindset. If you're on a winning team, you will want to stay in place. He's tried to do that before. The team just picked somebody else.
Right.
So I don't see him leaving us strictly for money, especially if the if the money isn't astronomical.
Right.
And I don't think it would be astronomical. Like it would have to be a huge pay bump in order for him to leave. A huge pay bump for him to leave.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of teams out there with that kind of cap space to even make that offer either, by the way.
Right.
They're
And to pay a center that, to Steph's point, to pay a center that, I don't see that many teams out there looking for a center to pay more than $16 million for.
Yeah. But it only takes one, right?
Yeah, it only takes one.
It only takes one. All right. Anything else we want? Yes.
Yes. Thibodeau is, they want to extend him.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's out coaching his second championship coach.
You guys don't think that's overused a little bit?
I'm talking about, I personally think it's overused, but for the metrics that other people use against Tibbs,
right,
I'm using the same metric.
Right. Because I feel like if a coach loses a series, he got outcoached. If he won,
right,
he outcoached the other. No mention about the other team's roster, whether or not they have the players that can execute the game. No mention of that. We win, you outcoach the other coach. So, I mean, I'm not saying he isn't, but I'm just saying the Knicks are better than Indiana, in my opinion. And the Knicks are executing their game plan better than Indiana is, executing theirs. And partly we have the best player on the floor. That helps.
Now that we only got 7, quick question though, Steph. Now that we only play 7 players and we're down 4 rotation guys, are we a better team because of talent?
I think we're a better team because of execution. And we got the best player.
That's true. See, the best player part.
Listen, I'm not taking anything from Tibbs. He did, Deuce McBride. Like, there's some things that he did. I'm just saying in general, not necessarily that he isn't out coaching those guys. I just think in general, people say that one is out coaching the other based on the outcome. In general. But I agree with you. I hear what you're saying.
The reason I said he's out coaching them because of the stuff that he's doing, not simply because they're just because we're winning. Like the adjustments he's been making, Tibbs wouldn't have made that before. It seemed like he's changing
these rotation adjustments, right?
Right. And as much as we always talked about how stubborn he is, and Tibbs only do one way and his way, and those ways are changing right in front of us.
Yeah.
So I have to give him credit for that because it's something that I personally knocked him for too.
Yeah. Just basically, and we talked about this coming into the playoffs. We called it weaponized when we had all of our weapons. Like, would he weaponize the roster and like change up lineups and who plays in particular games and series based on the matchup and what's going on? And that's what we're seeing. That's what we're seeing.
Right.
So Tibbs, from the time he got hired, we went to the playoffs 3 times, 3 out of 4 years, right? And so once as a 4th seed, 5th seed, and 2nd seed. And through his whole tenure here, he's been the only constant thing here. You realize that? Mitchell Robinson and Julius Randle have been here that same time, but they've been injured. They've been missing a lot of games. The one thing that hasn't changed is Tom Thibodeau. The whole roster changed around him. Like literally complete turnover.
Yeah, the only active player from the We Here season is Alec Burks.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah, and he left and came back.
Right.
And he benched him when he came back.
He benched him,
which he never would have done.
Which he never would have done.
Everybody was ready to fire him because he was playing him over quickly in the 37-win season, right?
Yep.
And so you're definitely seeing growth from the head coach. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So Yeah, he deserves the extension, no doubt. Jerrell, you watching that game, man? Yo,
Yep.
Denver down by 41 points, man.
Wow.
Yep. I'm watching it.
What are they in the fourth quarter? In the fourth quarter.
I watched Anthony Edwards get hurt though.
Yeah, he got hurt. He fell on his lower back. He landed on his back. 41 points.
Looked pretty bad, but yeah. I'm watching it.
Where's game 7?
Denver.
In Denver.
Okay.
Because they the number 2 seed, right? Because they had the same record as OKC, but I think OKC got number 1 because of conference record or something.
Oh, okay.
OKC, man, they cannot get a stop.
They young, man. The second round of
They
play.
can't get a rebound. They can't get a stop. I'm looking at I was like, it's painful watching them, man.
Rangers won. Yes, the Rangers won.
Yes.
Wow, they were down 3-1 in that game. That's crazy.
It's
Eastern Conference Final.
94 all over again, man. You know, both teams need
Calm down, AJ. Chill out. We gotta beat the Pacers.
I know.
We got to beat the Pacers.
I
No doubt about it. Absolutely. But Nick Yak, what's wrong with that? Everybody relax with the McBride stuff. It is fair to going into the playoffs with a guy who hasn't played more than 5 minutes in a playoff game. It's fair to say, yeah, I'm not sure what we're going to get from McBride. I would feel more comfortable if we had another guard on this team. That's fair. You know? But he came out and he played well. Like I said, I'm queen of the Deuce McBride fan club now, but you got to prove it to me. You got to prove it to me.
You got to earn it.
You got to earn it.
And really, he played well in game 5, but he had a tough series for the most part.
Yeah.
He's had a tough series.
If we're being honest, he was really bad in the 2 games in Indiana, and he wasn't great in the first 2 games, in New York either. So.
Right.
You know, we've been begging for this and hoping for it, but let's not rewrite history like he's averaging, 17 a game and playing lockdown defense. I mean, we were all lamenting how in the world are we going to stop TJ McConnell for 4 straight games, and then finally we did. But before that it was Deuce can't stay in front of his guy. Yep. What's going on? Like that was literally the conversation we were having.
Yep.
Like 4 days ago.
Right. He's been up and down, but I'm okay with that. I expect that from young players. I thought he was lights out in Philly, and in this series again, he's been up and down, both offensively and defensively. I think I was a bit more disappointed defensively though, because I'm like, that's your bag,
Yep.
But he came through last night. Not last night. When did we play? Tuesday. He came through on Hartenstein. On Halliburton. And he came through with 17 points. So, yeah, Nick Yak, he's still inconsistent, though. But, yeah, he's still my guy, though. But you got to show me something.
Well, Queen, and besides, we don't have another guy anyway, so he better be our guy. We only have like a handful of guys.
I'm about to say we only play 7 of them.
Only play 7.
You have to re-sign Hartenstein. Yes, it do, because you can dangle Mitchell Robinson in the Mitchell Robinson is coming off multiple ankle surgeries. I'm not quite sure that's going to be. I'm not sure that's going to be that easy.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
But we could probably trade Bogdanovich. Probably somebody pick him up.
I would rather keep Hart than Mitch at this point.
I think it will have to be like a package. I don't think Mitch's price on the open market is as high as Knicks fans think it is.
Mitch and Hart's contract really have nothing to do with each other. Listen, this is what it comes down to. I don't think it comes down to the money. And I'm not counting Dolan's money. I'm not sure that's the most important thing. Maybe it is. I'm not in the front office. I think it comes down to hitting that second tier. If they can sign Mitchell Robinson, Hart to 15. If they want to put 30 million in their center position, they can do that. You can still sign OG. You can still sign Randall. You can still sign Brunson. But what that means is you are locked into that roster.
Yep.
But if you feel that's a championship team, lock it in. Because you're not going to be able to do much to improve it. But if you feel that with two centers and OG and Randall and that's a championship contending team, and I believe that it is, lock it in. I don't think they will. You know what I mean? I don't think they will, but lock it in. That's basically what we're talking about at this point when we're talking about the salary cap and whatever. Once you hit that second tier, you no longer have the mid-level exception you can use. If you want to trade for a player, you can't take back more money than you send out. You can't aggregate contracts in a trade, so it has to be one for one. You can't put together a package once you hit that second tier. So you better love the team that you have because it'll be difficult to make changes. That's basically what it comes down to. So we'll see. We'll see. Maybe they will lock both of them in. Mitchell Robinson he's a part-time player at this point.
Yeah, I only would want to get rid of Mitch if we bring in some type of upgrade to the roster, though.
Right.
Like if he's just gonna, if you just want him to be the backup center, maybe injuries will slow down once his minutes go down a little bit. It's not like I mind Mitch on the roster.
Right.
It's just that, if we have a chance to get an upgrade somewhere, I do it.
I don't mind Mitch. Listen, to me, the only issue is if we have to choose. If we don't have to choose, keep both of them.
Keep both of them.
Keep both of them. If we don't have to choose and it's not a salary cap issue or, the Knicks believe that this team healthy is championship and they want to lock it in, I'm fine with it. But if we have to choose, that's when I'm like, that's different. That's different. Anything else? Before let me see. We talked about Hartenstein. My last question. What would it mean? I just want to make a last point about Julius Randle. Can I make one last point about Randle?
Sure. Okay.
Yeah. If you're a single mom or a single dad with 3 children and you're doing fine, it doesn't mean you can't do better with a partner. You know what I mean?
Where this going?
You know what I mean?
This is a great comment right here. That is an awesome analogy. I love it.
Those are facts. I just need to know.
Just because the Knicks are making it without Julius Randle doesn't mean we wouldn't be better with him. I mean, keep in mind, like we're running on fumes right now. We're playing. Obviously, your star players are going to play a lot of minutes in the playoffs anyway. But we got bench players, role players playing 42, 43, 45 minutes a game. Mm-hmm. We got Brunson working out there like a construction worker doing demolition. You know what I mean? Like he can't. He doesn't. He has help. Don't get me wrong. Guys are stepping up. That's not what I'm saying. But we're not making it easy for him. We can't make it easy for him. You know what I mean? So, yeah, we're making it. Our margins are slim. Game 3, we couldn't secure a rebound. We lose the game. That's how slim our margins are. So you mean to tell me if somebody came to you right now and said, listen, I got an all-star, all-NBA player for you, 25, 9, and 5, and you don't have to give up any players or any of your assets to for him to be on your team? You would say no. No, oh no, we squeaking by with everybody playing 69 minutes. We don't need this guy. We making it. We're one game from the Eastern Conference Final. Why do we need this guy? Like, come on, Knicks fans. Like, come on. Let's we would be that much better, with Julius Randle right now. Anyway, that's my public service announcement. Now we can return to our regularly scheduled.
We'd be better with half Julius Randle
programming.
We'd be better with anybody.
Imagine half Julius Randle, half healthy, giving you 10 points, 5 rebounds. We'd be better off.
Right.
Steph, one quick question before we leave. I wanted to ask, because we're not going to have a show before this series ends, regardless of whether we win tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
I remember before we asked the question was losing. Like, how far do you think the Knicks are going to go for you to be disappointed?
I think already the Knicks couldn't lose this series and I wouldn't be disappointed.
I was going to say the same thing.
I wouldn't feel disheartened though.
Right.
I shouldn't say I wouldn't be disappointed. I wouldn't feel like this was a failure if right. I feel like this postseason has already been a success.
Right.
To me, I would still feel disappointed if we didn't win the series, but I would still think it was a successful season for me.
Ditto.
Right.
The series, because you feel we're better than the Pacers. We go to Boston, we lose, we're okay. We have a great summer because they're a better team, especially with us being so hurt, like being down so many bodies.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But listen, the season's already a success. So a great season.
Let me tell you something. When we win tomorrow, we win this series, I'm just going to sit somewhere in the dark and be like, wow, like
amazing.
I suffered for over a decade with this team, and we are going to the Eastern Conference Final. I'm going to get me a nice drink. I might even put it on Twitter. Feet up.
Right.
Yes, I don't care what happens in Boston. This Knicks team, this one, with 7 players, we had to dust off. We had to take Burks outside and shake him like a rug. Put him in. This Knicks team made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. We dropping like flies. Bogey cracked the ankle. I'm like, yo, what's going on? OG gets a steal. I said, yo, what is he doing? Hamstring. I'm like, oh my god. Brunson with the ankle. This team gets to the Eastern Conference Final. They don't even need they listen. They don't even
That's
need
why I
to
asked.
show up.
Because when we asked the question, it was right before the playoffs started, and we had Mitch, OG, and Bogey coming off the bench.
Yeah,
and we was talking about like if we lost in the second round, we would be disappointed. But we made it a caveat. It depends on how we lost.
Right.
But now I'm at the point that win or lose, I already have in my mind that I'm good.
Yeah.
With what I saw.
Yeah.
Regardless of we won or lost. But I still do think we're going to beat the Pacers, and I want to beat the Pacers. But let's just say we lose the war of attrition, and it's just too much for 7 players to withhold that many minutes for that long. Right. I'm still done. Like, I'm good. Like, this season was a success, and moving forward, the future that we have with this team is very, very high.
Even without it, would you say even without any changes?
Even without any changes, because the players that have been hurt for us have been hurt for so long. They feel like changes, even though they're not. We actually would have to.
Right.
We actually would have to retool again how everybody will play with each other once Julius Randle comes back.
Right.
Like it will have to be an adjustment period.
Right.
A good adjustment period, I think, would be a better team, but that's how long they've been hurt.
Yeah, I agree with you. And remember, it was an adjustment period when we went 4-8. when we got into March, I was like, yo, how long is it going to take for this
Right.
team to Bogey's been here for a little bit now. Burks has been here for a little bit. Randall and OG has been out for, like, when is this team that's left going to develop a chemistry? That took some time. And to your point, Jerrell, when you start incorporating them back, because we have a chemistry now, it's going to take some time. It's going to take some time. But I'm here for it, because I think once it comes back together again, it's going to be beautiful. Yeah.
I think it's like when you're on one of those dream vacations where everything's just kind of going perfect, like the weather is gorgeous and the company is impeccable and everything's going the way it's, and you just don't want the trip to end.
Right.
And you know that your flight back is at such and such a time, and you got to get back through that gate and go back to reality. Well, that's kind of what this season is right now. We're just kind of trying to stretch out that trip for one more day and for one more day and for one more day, because this team has been so special to all of us for all the right reasons. It embodies the toughness and the attitude of the city of New York, like no team has since the 90s, and it's just and we've waited for so long to have this kind of success and to have a team that didn't make excuses and just went out no matter what happened, and they're just like, we're just gonna get hit and we're going to keep on coming. We're Freddy Krueger, we're Jason Voorhees, we're Rocky, we're all of that wrapped up in one package, and just relentless. And you're going to have to kill us and kill us again and kill us again. And it's been, like I said, it's just been such a joy to watch, and this fan base deserves it, and to be able to share it with you guys and with the chat, and to have have this just kind of great feeling. You just don't ever want it to end.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Let's get on to we out of here. The last thing we're gonna do is Game 6 keys and predictions. Let's go real quick.
Knicks in a close game win. We on to the next round. I don't want to talk about the next round team yet because we haven't gotten there yet.
Right.
But my prediction is that we will get there.
Okay. All right. Ajay, any keys?
Game 6 keys. Listen, you got to play defense. You have to play defense. You have 3 days to rest, so you should be well rested. Don't come out here flat like you did in Game 4. If we play defense, if we play, we hitting our shots. Hopefully we're hitting our shots. We're playing good defense. We're tenacious, like going after the rebounds, playing like, don't allow Indiana to be more desperate than we are. We have to understand this. We have to approach this like this is our Game 7. You approach this like mentally tough. This is our Game 7. We're going to be good.
Yep.
We're going to be good. And I don't think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be a 10, 12-point game.
Wow.
Yes.
That's a blowout. In a closeout game, you win by 12 points. I consider that a blowout.
At home, too, that is a blowout.
At home, right?
No,
I'll take it, though.
I think we're going to come out. We're going to come out with the energy. We're going to come out. Listen, these guys, mentally, they're tough. They've been showing this all season long. So, yeah, I feel pretty good about our chances tomorrow.
All right. Geoff?
Well, I think the keys are going to be obviously the rebounding. We've got to win the rebounding battle. We've got to get those extra possessions, because not only does it get us extra possessions, but when they're able to get the defensive board, that's when they're able to get out and push and run and get into easy offense and do some of the things that they like to do that makes them so hard to guard. So if we can limit those opportunities and crash the glass, dominate the boards, and make enough shots on the perimeter, then we can win the game. I'm not going to I'm not gonna make a prediction because as soon as I do, it's gonna bad. I'm not jinxing our chance at the Eastern Conference Finals. I'm not
Don't
doing
play
that.
that. Jeff don't never play the predictions though. You don't never do that.
But I love this team, and I sure hope I will probably not sleep tomorrow night if they win.
Yeah.
Well, I probably won't sleep tomorrow night either way.
If they lose, I'm not
think
gonna
they
sleep
lost an opportunity. But I will be so happy. Like if they win, I'll just be so overjoyed. And I know I'm going to be watching the game with my brother and my boys, and just what a moment to share with what that would be. And so I'm just very hopeful. And Indiana just picked this night to go like 4 for 25 from 3.
Yep.
And
hopefully we make
one of those games, and then just let us walk out of there with the W.
And I think the tighter it is, the more they're gonna feel it.
Mm-hmm.
The tighter that game is
true.
down the stretch, the more tight I think they're going to get, and they might start pressing. Listen, to me, the key to the game is Brunson and us hitting shots off of Brunson. You know, Brunson's floor game has to be tight, and his decision making has to be tight, and I believe it will be. And you know, whatever, if it's single coverage, it's real simple. If it's single coverage, kill him, and if it's double coverage, find the open guy. It's just to me, that's the key. As long as Brunson is healthy, I think we're going to be good. And I predict that the Knicks win tomorrow.
If we hitting shots early, the first couple of possessions, double team Brunson, the next guy's hitting the shots, it's done. It's a done deal. They panic, they go into scramble mode, they don't know what to do, and then we roll the rest of the way.
Yeah, and Devo is going for 30.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. No, he's gonna have a good game tomorrow.
I do believe that.
Devo, he's gonna come back for whatever it was, 8 points, 9 points, or what have you. He'll be fine. All right. Any last words?
Last word. Listen, shout out to the chat. Like right now, we like 116. I'm reading. Let me refresh. So you know, we over 100%. We ran that game is in the bag tomorrow.
Yeah. Listen, I appreciate everybody rocking with us.
120 likes. 119.
Yeah. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please do so. We're gonna do some nice things in the off season. Hopefully there'll be some new shows on the channel. We have that in the works, and I think I'm gonna come on at least once a week. I think I'll do my podcast live here, 45 minutes a week. At least that's the aim. Probably during a lunch break, like a lunch break show once a week. Then I'm trying to get some collabs in, where it's 1 week on my channel and another week on another channel. So I'm talking to a few people about that. So subscribe to the channel. I mean, it's going to be a fire off season. I think. All right. Appreciate everybody. Anybody else have anything to say?
Nah, man. Salute to the chat.
Thanks for hanging out with us, man. And
wait, hold on. Let me set up because I'm doing the short one today. Got to be ready.
Sister, you one of a kind.
Yes.
Oh, sister, it's time you
That's
shine. Don't talk.
Where you at? Where you at?
Don't talk.
Where you at? Where